It happens the same every year. All the houses in the neighborhood don their yards with skeletons and spooky lighting, carved pumpkins, paper cutouts of bats. They dress their properties up with just as much enthusiasm as the kids in their costumes, all for the sole purpose of basking in the spirit of Halloween. The house 2 doors down always goes all out. Strobes, inflatables, artificial fog, the whole 9 yards. It attracts kids from all across town, serving as some kind of meeting point for the trick-or-treaters. With pillowcases slung over their shoulders and plastic jack-o'-lanterns in their hands, they start their proud march, every princess and zombie trying to get the biggest haul of their life. Every year, I turn off the lights and pretend I'm not home, sitting in front of the TV with my dog for the annual marathon of slasher films. I'm a bit of a Scrooge this time of year. I don't really decorate my house. I don't even pass out candy. The street bustles with the combination of laughter and screams, each child and teenager trying to make each year more memorable than the last. From the darkness of my home, I catch glimpses from the window on the commercial breaks. Everything seems festive and normal. All except the house across the street. I didn't notice it at first. The house across the street is abandoned, almost derelict at this point. It was a modest loft house before it went unkempt, with a little garage and a big stretch of porch to walk up before you hit the front door. There's a rocking chair on one side of the door and a window on the other. I imagine it would have been a nice setup back in the day. Nice fall day, sip some cider on the covered porch in the rocker, hear the television from the open window. Now, the windows are boarded up, the garage door sits lopsided on its hinges, and there's so many old twigs and leaves matted on the porch roof it looks like it'll cave at any second. The rocking chair sits empty, dust and mold collecting over the years. No one's lived there for a long time. I don't even think it's on the market. It remains its old, weathered self all year round, and everything seems fine. But as trick-or-treating comes to a close, that changes. I have it narrowed down to the last 20 minutes. Every year, from 5 to 7, the kids go up and down the street raising hell, hopped up on sugar and the Halloween spirit. The old house stays dark and quiet almost the whole time. But at 6:40, that porch light kicks on. In the flickering light, a little orange bowl appears in front of the door. A few feet away, the rocking chair is no longer empty. There's a clown sitting there. His getup is crude and old, like an alcoholic uncle threw on a cheap jester one-piece. The eyes are closed, but the eyelids are painted cartoonish eyes staring at you while it sits perfectly still. A rusty kitchen knife held in its frozen hand. A little paper sign is stuck to the door, and in big red letters it reads, "Take 1." I've never seen anybody physically set it up. It's just there. 1 minute it's dark, and the next the light is on. It's almost like someone ran up when you weren't looking and propped the stuff up as a gag. But I've never caught anybody, never seen anybody in the act. It just happens. The thing is, that little orange bowl, it's loaded to the top. Not with dollar store candy either, king-size bars. The first time I thought maybe the property owner was trying to give back for having such an eyesore year-round. Or maybe a homeless guy was trying to have a little fun, scare the kids, that sort of thing. But it shows up every year, and it's exactly the same every time. The same scuzzy clown, the same candy bowl, the same written sign. The most unsettling thing is the window by the door. All year the windows in the house are boarded up. But when that light kicks on, that window's open. No boards, no nothing. The faded drapes on the inside sway in the night breeze, but that's all you can see. It's pitch black when you look in there. There's just that stupid clown. There's just that clown with his painted eyelids in the open window. People started to go missing. Articles in the paper would show the next day some kid or teenager wouldn't make it home after going door to door looking for candy. Every year without fail, there would be a new face to look out for. I would think of the house across the street immediately. But the strange thing is, I seemed to be the only one to see it. The porch light, the clown, the bowl of bars. I talked to some of the neighbors and everyone thinks I'm crazy. It got to the point where I called the police. I was sure they'd kick down that door and find a body or at least some evidence. Maybe bones or clothing, something. I called to them twice. Twice they came out and they searched the whole house. And they found nothing, absolutely nothing. No human remains, murder weapon, not even footprints. Like nobody has been there in ages. They tell me next time I cry wolf, I'll get a ticket. This year, at 6:40, I watch from the window. The light kicks on and they're there. Clown, bowl, paper sign, open window. I see some kids coming down the street, both dressed as animatronics. They look tired and ready to go, but they see the light. They go to the door. They see the giant bars. They jump with excitement. They read the sign. They look at the clown. And they wait for the jump scare. But he just sits there with a knife held limp and a blank painted stare. Each of them pick one, but there's a longing as they look at the bowl. It seems like their conscience got the better of them, and they leave without succumbing to greed. Heading off the porch, they pass a teen in a hoodie and skull face paint. He pushes past rudely, almost knocking over one of the kids. They seem upset, but don't look back. They don't notice the clown behind them. The painted lids raise, revealing staring, bloodshot eyes. This year, I pass out candy. I turn on my light and I'm out with my bowl, waving the kids over, waving them to safety. The eyes on the clown look at me menacingly, like a warning, but it doesn't last long. The teenager is stuffing the bars in his pockets, as many as he can hold. I show the kids my bowl of suckers, tell them the haul's over, to take as much as they want. They're ecstatic, too happy and focused to look back at the slowly standing clown. The teenager leaves, and arms of nothing but bone shoot through the open window. One grabs his arm, and the other planting a hand over his mouth to silence. The clown is there in an instant, eyes wild, the knife digging deep, stabbing over and over. The kids take handful after handful. I show them the silly paint I put on, and if I have to, I'll ask them about their costumes. The teenager fights, but it's over as soon as it started. The clown stabs and rips, the old blade stabbing crudely. The arms are already pulling him in. His screams blend with the others in the distance. My eyes tear up and the kids get worried. I dump the candy in their bags, trying to stay joyous. My hands are shaking, but I play it off. I call my dog to the front door so they can see the silly spider costume I made him wear. Their laughter drones out what they don't want to hear. The clown grabs the teenager by the ankles and helps the skeletal arms, pushing him into the dark abandoned house. He leaves the knife sticking from the torso, arterial spray staining his ratty costume. And when the feet are sucked in, he slams the window shut. For a moment, he looks at me. His stare is cold and terrifying, but I don't look long. Across the street, the porch light shut off, and it's all gone. I still feel the eyes on me, but there's nothing there. Other houses seem to take it as their cue, and one by one, trick-or-treating comes to an end. The kids grin with their heavy bags and wave goodbye, going back the way they came. I'm left at the front door, and the air is suddenly chillier. I look at the porch ahead, and I almost swear I can see him still sitting there in the dark, but when a car passes, the headlights show an empty chair. I take my empty bowl and shoo my dog inside, realizing I'll either have to do this again or move. At least I have some time to figure it out. Happy Halloween. Until next year.